Hey guys, welcome back. Today's project is a nice big coyote. It was tanned by Wildlife Gallery, and I think they did a really good job on it. They usually do. I haven't had any complaints about him so far. But he is all ready. This is a real big one. Look how long his tail is. About a 50-pounder. So not real heavy, but real long. He's got really long legs, real big feet for a coyote. Good looking one. Big male. Here's his face here. They always look kind of goofy before they're back on their heads, but yep, he's all ready. Wildlife Gallery does a good job keeping these whiskers in, too. You can see they do thin the skin down. I'm going to thin it down just a little bit more, but these whiskers are still rooted really well in there, which is a concern with coyotes and bobcats and things like that. But they always do a good job. This is a deer that was tanned by Wildlife Gallery, and you can see he's got all the whiskers and eyelashes still intact as well. And here's his head. Got this already. Got the nostrils poked out, mouth all drilled. They're always so weird looking. Life-size projects are always kind of tricky to get to fit perfectly. This one, though, luckily enough, he fits just about perfect. He does have a big hole on his leg here. Not quite sure how that happened. Maybe he got shot there, I'm not sure. But this I'm actually going to sew up after I put them all together, because I'm going to be stuffing the leg foam down in through here, and I might just pull the stitches out. So I always prefer to sew those up last, things like that. Same thing with this relief cut here. I do split the legs till, well, on the back legs it's about up to the hock here. You see just a regular straight cut down the back. That just makes it easier to get the feet in. It's a really pretty colored one too. He's got real nice dark stripes down all the legs. He's got a real dark back. Face is real dark. He's got some black up top here. Really pretty. No mange or anything. And this is a winter coyote, and that's why you always try and harvest these guys in the middle of winter when they're nice and fluffy. They make a good mount that way. Got him all sewed up. He's got a couple tiny little nicks. That was from me fleshing, I'm pretty sure, just because, you know, they're so thin-skinned. But nothing on the head, nothing the tannery did wrong, of course. And I've got the tail split. Got it cut down the middle, the whole length of the tail. You can see here. No big holes, that one's fine. Got some burdock in there still. So let's get started here. Alright, let's get this guy greased up here. Here's the back leg we're going to start with. Now I'm using Pro 1 hide paste. This stuff cleans up really nice, which is why I'm not worried too much about it getting in the hair. Up over the hock there, that's always a little tricky. So I'll just make sure it's up on here nice and straight. Looks pretty good. Yep, so there's the back leg. Fits them nicely. You want all the shaggy hair to just kind of hang off the back of the leg there. Then before I do anything else with this foot, I have to stuff the foot up with clay. That way it's not all kind of shriveled up and wrinkly looking. I'll do that with all 4 feet, of course. Just don't put too much clay in, else it bulges out and it looks too much like a fist. I just kind of feel around where the toe is. Then push the clay up into the toe, and you'll also see the claw come forward when you do that. That's how you know you've got it in there good. Just kind of move it around in there. You can see that toe It's all nice and full compared to the other ones. This one looks really good already. See, it's got a nice dog paw shape. And I'll smooth them all out, of course, but that's the general idea of it. Just looks like a dog leg. This is that leg with the hole down the front. So he's going to be a little tricky on this side. It shouldn't be too bad though, I wouldn't think. These things always have so many holes in them, I'm used to fixing them up, so I don't mind. Alright, it's the front right leg. Here's that hole in the front you can see. We're just going to thread it up through there. No problem. You'll notice here what I've done with that leg is I've kind of bunched the skin up, and this works really good because the leg is bent. The cut's right through here, but when it's bent, it tucks right up into the arm, the inside of the elbow there. And I haven't even sewn, and you can hardly see where that cut even was. But it'll sew up together nice. You'll still kind of see a seam here, but it really won't be that bad at all. It worked out really well. And now it is time to add the body. This is always going to be fun. Most difficult part, probably, of the whole thing. And this last leg is connected to the body, which is going to be a little challenging. But we'll get her done. Looks really good so far. Fits this dog really well. Last leg here. The hip area and the crotch is always kind of hard. You gotta kind of hold the legs together as you're working it down. And on a bear, as you can imagine, this gets kind of difficult. But just be patient. Don't start ripping and tearing, because you gotta keep in mind they have thin skin. But once we got it about half the way on, a little bit more than halfway, just go ahead and slip it over the front while you still can. Get these legs in the right position. You can see how big this dog is. It's a real big one. Real nice coyote, but we got to get it up over this neck stump here. Because as you get these hips up over, it gets real tight up along the back. So you can see when I put tension on this skin here, this is what I like about these forms. This leg is basically locked into place. I'll have to bondo it to it, but you can see it adheres and blends into the body really nicely. This shoulder does. This foot's actually not going to be touching the ground on this mount. He's got skinny little ankles, but you can work it down over, kind of like a sock. So this leg is going to be hanging limp up in the air because he's stepping. So we're not going to put as much clay on this one because it's not coming into contact with the ground. He's stepping like this so the foot is limp. So we're not going to be putting a lot of clay in him because it's not going to spread the toes out like he's on the ground with it. Alright, Bondo time. I just use regular Bondo. Sometimes people use like the fiberglass stuff or whatever. This stuff works fine though. Step always takes quite a while. Now you gotta mix it up, then wait for this leg to kick before you can go on to another one. Just be careful you don't get it on the hair, because this stuff does not come out. If it gets a little bit on the skin, that's alright, just not the hair side. And yes, we are going to sand it smooth after we're done. Got this first one just about in there. Don't want to bend it too much is the only thing. This is the part that takes the longest. Alrighty, got all the feet sewed up, and he's all finished. Just kidding, I do that every time. So all of his feet are sewed up, and everything came together really nicely. I'll have to smooth this part out a little bit. But that foot is off the ground nicely. Let's get his head up out of the way here. And these feet, I still gotta squish the toes all together still. But yep, here's the general idea. He's kind of crouching down on the front end. Turning out really nice so far. First things first though, we gotta get at his eyes here. There we go. And I've got the head nice and level. Here are the eyes I'll be using. A Matuska exclusive, they are reflective eyes. So at night, if you shine a flashlight on them, they actually glow, the pupil does. Just like they do at night in the wild. So that's pretty cool. That's why I like them. They got nice detail too in the iris. And just a little button of clay on the back. Just to kind of hold them there while you're getting them in. And the look I'm going for with this guy is alert, but nothing crazy. So I'm not giving it too intense of a stare. Pretty funny looking. Next I'm getting his ears ready here. This replaces the cartilage on the inside of the ear. Gives it its shape while it dries and it prevents them from curling up weird. Covering that all with glue. I want to get down in that ear canal good too. Now it's time to sew up all this and the tail. Let's do something about this. That's a good idea, probably. kind of moving the skin around the rest of the face a little bit. Getting the eyes where I need them. Then we can tuck the lips. And for this specific mount, I am going to be tucking the lip completely. On certain mounts, I'll leave a little corner of black skin left over down here, but I don't think it would look right on this one. The expression's not quite right for that. He's looking really good. This is where it all comes together.